Hi, everybody. Welcome to the next part of this series. I actually, in the interim between me finishing James Route twice and starting this, I decided to actually play through errands. We'll see how long it takes me. This might be to be like it's not part of any route or anything. This is just like a video to play errands. That's it. That is it. There's no other there's no other purpose to this. I think there's something if you make like errands. I think it would be best to play errands as the second event where you already like friendly with Jamie and like the other boys. Um let's see, let's load. Which save do I load? Okay, so this is the last one for this dress. This is it for rainy day. This save. This should be the save where I could get to pick errands. Okay, so if I played, let's see, hold. Okay, I'll sign up after I finish yours. What's the beard? Okay. I'll sign up after I finish chores. Boo. Well, we do. Fuck. Well, we do have a lot of stuff piling up at home. Should I be expecting an RSVP from you soon, Percy? Oh no, oh no, look at that, I'm suddenly so busy. Uh-huh. I also had like the fifth floor chat to check. But like I've already read all of that. No, wait, let me go away. Okay. Start event. And that was one more chore knocked off the list. As you folded the last of your laundry, you took another look around. True to your word, ever since Deja had left for the day, you'd been working your way through the apartment. Every house, plant, and shelf had been dusted, and tables were wiped clean, dishes were stacked away. You'd even gotten around to tossing out all the forgotten leftovers and freezer burned items in the fridge. Oh, whoa, so productive, bro. I'm astounded. A damn good job for a morning's worth of cleaning. If you did say so yourself. Just the way that you and Deja like to keep it. You didn't mind cleaning, but Deja did care about it more than you did. Mess was your middle name, but you kept your shirt spaces clean for Deja. Um, I would say I didn't mind cleaning, but because I'm not like a messy person, but I try to. It's because I try to keep like my stuff as clean and arranged as possible, so I don't have to clean anymore. So I don't have to clean anymore often. Um, so like I try my best to keep my spaces like tidy and stuff. Well, tidy. Keep my spaces like tidy and stuff. Just so I don't have to clean it more often than I should. Or to try to actually try and like prolong the cleaning as much as possible, I guess. um in any case, I'm gonna choose the middle one because it tends to be that like my roommates care more about the cleanliness of the space than I do, but like I don't mind cleaning it if that's what they need. You thought you kept things pretty clean, but Deja held her living space to a standard that was simply higher than most. It meant that you had to do a little extra tidying here and there, but it wasn't that much trouble. Most of the outstanding tasks had been taken care of. There was a conversation you had to have with your RA at some point about staying on campus during summer, but that would wait until the next time you ran into them. The last big thing, you had to refill the fridge. It had been a good while since the last major restock. It had been a good while since the last major restock since the semester was coming to a close. when you weren't at study sessions, you were running back and forth between classes, group projects, and your professors. Deja, meanwhile, was trying to finish out her class projects too, in addition to putting out whatever flyers the student government had to address in a given week. That didn't leave a whole lot of room for dinners at home, but it was better to have something over nothing. Thus, you gather your totes, keys, and you know the first time I read this, I was like, totes? What in the fuck are you talking about? Uh, and I didn't know what like this totes meant. I was like, sure, whatever that is. You grabbed it, your keys and wallet, and then headed out the door. Um, it wasn't until like, it wasn't until like, it was so embarrassing because it was so recent. It wasn't until like maybe like when I started working in this job, in like the current job that I'm holding. Hey, by the way, lore drop about me. I have a job. I have a day job, which is why I'm not like recording these like every single day or anything. But oh, I think that might have been already mentioned since like the last recording of this was right before I signed into my job. But yeah. Anyway, I have a day job, 9 to 5 job. Um and it wasn't until I got into that job that I actually learned that tote bags was a thing that I didn't know existed. Like I didn't know the name of. Like I knew, then I knew them. We have them in my country. They're just like canvas bags. We don't have like any specific name for them. Um, but that's that. Yeah. So like about a year or two ago was when I finally learned what tote bags are. Um. Uh huh. So you gathered your totes, keys, and wallet, and then headed out the door. You had plenty of time, as it turned out. The weather was cool but sunny, with no apparent risk of rain, and it was a good day to knock your only outdoor errand off the list. Even on the weekend, the shuttle stops near the student apartments tended to get overcrowded. You set your sights on one of the stops further into campus. There were already a few stragglers waiting there, including one particular cozy-looking individual whom you recognized as the student body president. Reina was perched right at the edge of the stop, with a portable rolling crate folded and leaned against the bench. She was facing away, snapping a few shots with a bulky camera. Hey, look at her. I always think that this picture looks so cute because it looks like she doesn't have a nose. I know, I can know she has a nose. She's got to have it there somewhere, but it's just so cute. Somehow the idea of her being into photography had never occurred to you. Maybe it was just a hobby for her? Oh, right. I need to... Forgot to... Like, I went, looked about to get it, and then totally forgot to bring up the guide on what I need to choose. So what are my stats? Let me see, what are my stats? Let's grab some confidence. Oh, this doesn't give me points. Interesting. Okay. You kind of... okay, so this is what I do. Sorry, I didn't even read. I just immediately went to the guide. Sorry. You kind of just... How's the microphone? I forgot to look at that. Alright, there you go. You kind of just took you kind of just took photos for the hell of it. You were pretty new to photography yourself, but you did consider it a hobby. Taking photos was a long-time hobby for you, which you took seriously. You've been taking photos for a long time, but it was still a casual hobby. I would say this. I don't know anything about photography or anything like that, but I do like to take pictures of shit, plants, sky. The dusk, the dawn, my dogs. It wasn't often that you saw her outside of events. This almost felt like seeing a teacher outside of the classroom for the first time. Plus, Reina was always in motion, running from task to task, and trailed by a flock of student government members. It was even rarer for her not to spot you first. She seemed to always know where you were, and now that you had a rare chance to say hi, you had it right over. Maybe try from over there, you'll get less shadow that way. Oh, good note. With a final snap of the shutter, Reina let her camera dangle from her neck, turning to you with a quiet, warm smile. Afternoon, Ollie. What are you up to today? That's what I was going to ask you. Oh, board business. I need to pick up a few things from downtown that can't wait. Another event? Already? Of course. These things just don't. Fuck. These things don't just happen on their own. They take a lot of advance work. I've been planning some of these events since kindergarten. Sure you were. You knew you'd be SUB president as a kid. It was my live stream. But that's me, and you? And now? And now? Oh, and now? Like, you go ahead. She tilted a fist in your direction, an imaginary microphone poised to pick up your response. I was just heading to town to pick up some groceries. Ah, so you were taking the shuttle instead of catching a ride with Cam? Yep, Cameron probably would have driven, but they're not around. I'm not with them all the time. Do we really hang out that much? No comment. I probably would have asked him to drive me if they were around. That's sweet of you. That's sweet of them to be so helpful. There was a brief lull, and Reina's head tipped down as she checked her. Fuck. There was a brief lull, and Reina's head tipped down as she checked her most recent photos. After an awkward beat, you swiveled your head to check for the bus, staring down the empty street for a little too long. Surely this was a situation many students on campus were familiar with. The weird moment when you were waiting for a bus or a class or something next to someone you only kind of knew. And yet, after a few more seconds, Reina piped back up. Ollie, do you prefer taking the bus over carpooling? And would you ever rent a bike or a scooter if they were available? And would you mainly use it to go downtown or just around campus? Is this for an SUB project? Yep, it's a student transportation survey we've got on the back burner. Well, that was very Reina of her. After a thoughtful second or two, you gave her your answers, trying to accommodate as many of her possible follow-up queries as you could think of. So even if they do commute every day, I convinced Cam they should try taking the bus sometimes too. Makes sense. I hope that helps them avoid parking disasters in the future. I hope so too. Eventually, you heard the soft hiss of the bus as it came alongside the sidewalk. The two of you were the last to board. Reina shoot you on ahead, grabbing her folded crate on wheels and tucking it awkwardly under one arm. Your IDs beeped on the reader, one after another, and then you grabbed the last pair of seats just before the bus lurched into motion. Do you mind if we make my stop first? What? The thrift store closes earlier than the grocery store, so thrift store? Oh, it's the little one downtown, Sheffield's. Basically this way you wouldn't have to worry about any frozen milk, eggs, you know, any frozens, milk, eggs, you know. Was she asking if you want to go to the thrift fuck that word thrift store? Was she asking you if you'd want to go to the thrift store with her, or was she just inviting herself along? Um doo-doo-doo-dum, doo-dum, doo-dum-dum-dum, doo-dum-dum-dum. I would say it was unexpected but not unwelcome. At least you supposed you'd have company while you were wandering around the grocery store later. It'd only be a small detour from your choice, and the same went for Reina. With that in mind, you gave a non-committal shrug. Sure, why not? Excellent. That said, the two of you fell into an awkward silence right after, as the conversation tapered off. This was as close to the first time you'd ever really been around each other without this was close. No, this was not as, but this was close. This was close to the first time you'd ever really been around each other without Deja or Cameron to grease the wheels. Face to face with that realization, face to face with that realization, you mold because it's mulberry, so it should be mold. You mulled over how you didn't really know much about Reina. These what did you know? She was this. Oh, my alarm. My alarm. God fuck. Can you let me turn you off? Please, begging. Okay, there you go. Give me 1 second. I need to take my meds. My meds. Do-do-do-dum. Do-dum-dum-dum. Do-dum. Do-dum-dum-dum. 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 Do-dum. Do-dum-dum-dum. Do-dum-dum-dum. Do-dum. Dum-dum-dum-dum. Where's my fuck? Hold a second. I need to go get water. I left it abandoned in some faraway space. 1 second. Doo-doo. Doo-doo. That done. We are set. Okay. She was a president of the student body. She was a second year student like you. She liked cardigans and pastel colors. She spent a lot of time planning things for the student government, and she'd been taking pictures earlier, so that must have been one of her hobbies. And then the obvious, her name was Reina Dioquino. Dioquino? It's probably Dioquino. Dioquino? Anyway, I'm gonna say Dioquino. That was kind of it. Penny, for your thoughts? Oh, I was just, bum 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 ba-dum 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 bum bum ba-dum bum 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 bum. Let's see. I'm not used to seeing you alone either. I do have plenty of tales, don't I? Reina laughed softly, shaking her head as she leaned back into her seat. Her hands dropped into her lap as she glanced at her folded card, then back to you. Today's task is pretty easy, so I don't want to ask someone to come. I didn't want to ask someone to come. You asked me though. That's different. I asked you to come because you were already here, not because I made you come with me. I guess that's fair. Reina gave a knowing hum as she brushed her knuckles down her skirt. She was pretty fidgety for some reason. Maybe she wasn't sure what to do with her hands. Even now, one hand drifted up to the ends of her hair, absently twirling a few strands as she sighed. And Deja turned me down when I asked her if she'd want to come with me. If she'd want to come with. That girl, she's living in the office these days. I've been telling her to go home, take a break, but no. With her, everything needs to be checked, double checked. I already gave her all the documents. All she needs to do is hire a stilt walker. Why is she hiring a... But, you know how she is. It's not good unless she does the research herself. She gave a sigh. She gave a sigh that was equal parts indignation and admiration. At least you could rest assured that Reina felt the same way about Deja's work habits as everyone else you knew her. Listening to her now, it was easy to think their roles were reversed. That Reina was the put upon VP. Need to mark it. Sorry, I've got this like reminder app. To remind myself to take my meds. Just need to turn that off and then turn this alarm off too. Okay, there you go. And Reina, the roles were reversed, and Reina was put upon VP to Deja's unstoppable SUV president. No offense, but how'd you end up being president over Deja? What do you do on the board? Sometimes I wonder if Deja's even human. You decide to leave the conversation there. I wanted to get like the confidence point, but I also don't want to choose that as. I don't want to choose that answer. Anyway, we're gonna choose it just for the sake of this thing. It's alright. I'm not depending on anything about this. Reina laughed, giving you a careless shrug in reply. Maybe I'm more charming, efficient. You'll have to ask a committee why I won, but I remember it being pretty close. Deja's not salty about it, is she? Not that I know of. Good, because I did win it fair and square. It was a good thing Deja wasn't around to see you crack a smile over that. The brakes hissed, and the doors opened to admit more passengers. The students piled in with Stardom-like efficiency until the bus reached capacity. You had half a mind to help Reina move her cart in front of you too, so it was out of the way, but she only made eye contact with the nearest disgruntled for the year, smiling so sweetly that any grumbles about it quickly fizzled out. What's with the cart? Doom 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 doom. I don't know if I can ask more than one of these. Okay, so this one gets me points. Oh, what did I choose? I didn't even see what I chose. If you were stuck on a deserted island, what 3 things would you bring with you and why? Well, that's a random question. I see. Interesting. So Reina likes like a little bit of whimsiness. It's like I don't know, like randomness kind of thing. I kind of see why she gets along with Jamie, because Jamie has that too. Reina's laugh faded into a short hum as she tipped her head for some serious thought. A canteen, a survival knife, and a pot. Alright, and why? Well, a canteen because I need something to hold water in, a survival knife for cutting palm fronts and whatever food I find, and she drew a finger across her neck, then let her head hang limply. Dark, but practical. And then a pot, because it's versatile. You can boil water, cook whatever, then it works. It'd be enough to tide me over until a boat or a plane came to find me. Those were all pretty reasonable choices, albeit boring ones. Alicia had told Hughes that she was a reasonable person, even when asked such a frivolous question. What about you? What do you think you'd bring? Okay. After all, Reina had put if forgot to read. Even if it was a hypothetical situation, you were going to be serious about it. After all, Reina had put some thought into her answer. It was only right to put some effort into yours. We're gonna pick. Um, need to pick three. You know what? Actually, Reina has it right. If I can only choose three things, I don't want to choose neither a fire starter nor a compass. Though I do think I would have trouble starting a fire, but there is like even if I have a fire starter, what good does it do me? I have nothing to cook with, you know. I have nothing at all to put over the fire to cook with. Um, and I would love a compass, but I've never really been one for compasses. So I could also just well, if you're in like the jungle, you wouldn't be able to see like I was gonna say like because I find my north, so to say, in my city because of because we have like this one big mountain that's visible like nearly throughout the whole city, no matter where you are. So like I always know more or less where are things because I look at that mountain and I know like like the distribution in relation to that mountain. But if you're like in the forest or in the jungle and you cannot see the sky, then it'd be pretty hard to see a fucking mountain, wouldn't it? Um it's just all of these things, the canteen, the survival knife, and the kitchenware are both like indispensable. If you don't have a canteen, where else are you gonna put water into? You know, like you're in the middle of an island. Where are you gonna put water into? Guess you could do a coconut, but if that's dependent on if there are coconuts. This could be one of those. I don't even know there are like islands that don't have coconuts, but could be. What do we know? Um, you know what? I'm gonna pick Reina's choice. Saying kitchenware isn't very specific, but I can see where you're going with that. Same thing as my pod, right? So, so we have pretty much the same answer. They do say imitation is the highest form of flattery, so I'll take it. I'm glad you were so realistic about it too, though my answers were going to be lame. I thought my answers were going to be lame. If I do have to get stuck on a deserted island, I hope it's with you. So cute. You both lapsed into silence for a while, staring out the window as the bus hummed and rattled around you. There were a few more stops left before Fairfield, but the bus was already packed full. It'd be a quick trip the rest of the way. Oh, it would be? It would be a quick trip the rest of the way, I guess, because the bus was already full and was gonna be stopping. It's my best guess. Ba 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 ba. Let's see. What am I gonna choose now? Do 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 do. do 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 do. I'm gonna choose. If I can, I'm gonna choose both of these ones. So where are we going for the thrift first? To the thrift store for. So oh. So what exactly has you rushing downtown today? Sorry. Ooh, always the attentive listener, Ollie. Have you been to Sheffield's? No, but I think I might have mentioned it once or twice. I see. Yeah, it's on the quieter side. It's on the quieter streets downtown. Pretty unassuming. The first thing you see is the plants out front instead of the actual sign. I know the owner. She said she'll give us a discount if we spend enough. So Mikey's an alum actually. Her wife too. They've spent. They've held a few fuck. Fuck. They've held a few pop-ups on campus and stuff since they're a little out of the way. They reached out to me recently saying they had some extra interesting items in stock, but if we wait too long, Mikey gets tempted to sell it to someone else. It's always, this isn't a library, Reina. Can't put things on hold forever, Reina. Then she leaned in, a hand on her side of her mouth as she whispered, Want to take a guess what it's all for? Um, a multi-year sleeper operation to get Sheffield's more business than ever before. That. Love that. If I cannot get confidence, I'm gonna get composure. Um, my composure's looking pretty low. Stu, why don't you take a guess? Huh? That's not how this game works. Noting that down, Reina Dioquino, sort loser. I said I was gonna say Dioquino. Well, whatever. Why, I never. I'm filling out some price inventory for the spring festival. Like I said, Mickey already has some things in mind, but who knows what else I'm gonna find. If we're lucky, I'll find something that'll really wow the crowds. The pines thinned out, and you spotted the first spotlight signaling your arrival to town. With an expert turn of the wheel, the driver merged into the light traffic, and soon the twin banners that heralded Fairfield's shopping center came into view with a bus stop placed conveniently nearby. Everyone stirred in preparation. When the doors opened, there was a long, protracted shuffle as almost every passenger left, including you and Reina. The two of you exited from the sidewalk, pausing so Reina could pop her cart back into a box shape. Sorry. After she was ready, Reina took charge, leading you toward a row of older buildings. She hustled after. No, you hustled after, dimly aware that this specific section of of the shopping district was a bit unknown to you. At the very least, you hadn't stopped to look around the stores in this area for very long. As you strolled past the record store and around an intersection, you reached the storefront underscored by nodding leaves and of lavender and sage. Reina nudged the door open with a little jingle of the bell overhead, gesturing for you to follow her through. It looked more like a boutique than a thrift store inside. Clothing was hung in immaculate rows, organized by item, while the shelves and display cases were I think it was laden with accessories and knickknacks. Welcome. At the counter, a woman with vividly red hair looked up from a small vanity mirror, her expression brightening as she put an eyelash curler down to wave. Reina, hello, sweetheart. Who's your little friend? This is Ollie. He's accompanying me for the day. Ollie? Mrs. Wolf. Oh, ew. Cecily'd get a knock out of that. Cecily'd get a knock out of that, but not me. Uh, Micheline. Michaeline? I don't know how to say that. Michaeline? Is this Mikey? Mickey. This is Mickey. Okay, so I've been reading that wrong. Fuck. Since it's Mickey, it should be Michaeline. Michaeline. Michaeline? Whatever. Honey, it's blah, whatever. Blah. But I'd prefer it if you called me Mickey, alright? Well, it's okay, but You flashed a small smile in a quick greeting, and however you say your name, Mickey responded in kind. Oh, I like this one. Shall we get down to business, Reina? I'll just take around in the meantime. I like taking around in the meantime. Oh, actually, if I listen in, I get Reina points. Cool. Interesting. That's very interesting. Let's see. Let's save here. Let's see if I can. Where am I? Here. If I can like look through the thingies after even after listening in, I wouldn't mind. Oh, it's okay. Don't want to bore you to tears. Just for that, I'm raising prices by an extra $1. Oh, even more. Even $1 more is too much, Mickey. Misser. Go on and browse, Ollie. I'll come over when I'm done. Well, that solves that. As Reina headed into the back, as Reina headed into the back with Mickey, you took another look at the store. Those trinkets look kind of interesting. Some of those clothes maybe look to your style. Let's see. Squeezing between the racks, you glanced along the first group of hangers with fleeting curiosity. The space was cluttered, but that didn't mean it wasn't sorted. It wasn't sorted into rough categories. Time to look at. Let's go in order. Tops. As you brushed along the racks in the middle of the store, you noticed a sweater with a 3D cat face on the front and a tail in the back is what gives you Jamie points. Let's see, you know what? This is the perfect run to see if maybe it was like affection points that didn't allow Jamie to... I don't think it should be affection points. I don't think it should be affection points. But let's see if it's affection points that didn't allow Jamie to want to do the bar hang thing, the ladder thing with me. It was pink, and if the cat attachments weren't enough, the collar was finished with an abundance of lace. Did someone's grandmother make this? You snapped a quick picture of it and sent it off to your friends. The label says her name is Misty. Wow. That's just... I think I could pull it off. You think so? I could pull off anything off. I could pull anything off. I mean, look at me. You have so much confidence in text. You should see him shopping when he's actually You should see him when he's actually shopping. I'm actually quite fond of it. Why? It's fascinating in the way that cutting a person in half during a magic show is fascinating. Hello? What? I recognize the store. Sheffield's? Yeah, do you come here often? Not really. All the time, lol. He loves dog. Dev loves Dev loves that dog more than he loves his dogs. What are you doing there? I thought you said you wanted to stay home today. Was getting groceries when I bumped into Reina. She invited me to go along with her. Oh, must be to pick up inventory. LOL. Sorry for her. Sorry for her. She has a habit of kind of dragging people around. How's browsing? You glance quickly aside, taking another idle look around you. Shuffles certainly have plenty to peruse. This time you found. Let's look at the bottoms. No. Let's go. Let's go to. You know what? Sure. Yes. Let's go. Let's go in order. Um. Bottoms. Who am I giving a point to? So it's either Reina, Percy, or Cam. Who do I want to give a point to? Between Percy and Cam. Um, dun, 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 dun. Percy or Cam? Percy or Cam? Percy or Cam? Cam, Percy, Percy, Cam, Cam. Oh wow. These are not the options that I see in the fucking thing. These are not the options in the fucking. Oh, second selection. Okay, that tells me. That explains it. Okay. So second selection of tops. A pair of excessively denim shorts. Let's not. Oh my god. The kind that are more fabric, more whole than fabric. A black gothic Lolita dress. Oh my god, these options are split toed. Oh, actually, let's go with accessories. Let's reload. I like that one. Here. Yes. Let's go with accessories and pick the mismatched earrings decorated with stars. I actually used to have like a pair of mismatched earrings decorated with stars. Literally, it was like a pair of hoops that had like mismatched stars dangling from them. So pretty. Love that mental picture. But I actually have is it a fantastic a I think it's a fantasia. Um and I don't have anything in my mind. Like there's no visuals in my mind. It's only words and sounds and feelings and like intangible things, but like pictures are not a thing in my mind. So it's like I just loved the memory that it evoked, kind of, and like the feeling that it evoked. Stylishly asymmetrical and polished to a stellar shine. One side was a gleaming crescent moon, and the other was a big shining sun. Tiny stars trailed from each earring on thin chains. Hopefully, they weren't too heavy to wear. Still grinning a little at your latest discovery, you turned back into the group chat. It's going okay. Just window shopping for now. Peppy footsteps approached at an angle, alerting you to Reina's return. So have you been enjoying yourself? Right before she could peek at whatever you were browsing through, a yip quickly caught the attention of everyone in the store. Bowing at the door was a familiar flop-eared terrier with tousled tousled. I think it's tousled short fur, and a vigorously wagging tail. Oh, baby girl, you're back. Wait, Mickey, that's your dog? She is. Mickey practically flew across the store to let her in, and the pup trotted in with her head held high. At a glance, it was obvious how owner and pup were related. The velvet bow on the little dog's collar perfectly matched the color of Mickey's heels and hair. While they greeted each other with exuberant glee, another thing you had in common, it seemed, another thing they had in common, it seemed, Reina tipped you a knowing look. So I guess you've never trailed the downtown dog to this store? No, we always felt too bad chasing her around. Visitors to the shopping district would inevitably run into a certain dog, who had a penchant for walking herself around town. You, Deja, and Cam had fawned over her a couple of times, but the tag on her collar wasn't a very informative one. Nobody who met her knew her name. Cam had been the one to nickname her Nena. Is it this actual name? Nena is actually how you say it in Spanish. So Nena. Um they were also they were also the most invested in figuring out which store Nena called home. Too bad they weren't here right now. What's your name for her? Nena. Cute. I call her Rollo. But what's her actual name? Mika refuses to say. I think she and her wife have a lot of fun hearing what we all come up with. With a jingle of her collar, Nena or Rollo ran over, sniffing busily around yours and Reina's feet before sitting down. Her tail thumped contentedly on the floor as she stared up. This image has lived in my mind since the moment when I first played this extended demo. Because it's so hilarious to me. I have a dog, and neither of my I have two dogs actually. Neither of my dogs like thump the floor when they're like sitting down and happy. They just sweep it. Just basically sweep it. Like a like a windshield wiper. Just like back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. Really fast. Which becomes hilarious when you're sitting on when they sitting on a like ground, like dirt ground sort of surface, or like a place with leaves, well, like dry leaves, because they start sweeping like the dust and the dry leaves away. It's so funny, man. Bark. Well, of course it's not bark. It's like woo. You had to pet that dog. That's interesting. I didn't get a choice here. I was supposed to get. Well, we'll see how that plays out. Um, you steal your heart. You wouldn't be petting any dogs today. No, no, no. You always. Well, you know what? Any composure. Any composure. Let's just pet the stupid dog. Not pet the dog. After a few seconds, Nina licked her nose. Maybe that was her way of saying she understood. If she was getting pets today, they weren't going to be from you. Reina crouched in your stead, beaming as she reached to stroke Nina's head. Nina's! Fuck. I said I wasn't going to call her Nina and then immediately shift into that. You know what? It's Nina it is. Quickly she held her other hand out. Paw? Nina obliged, placing her delicate little paw in Reina's hand. After a firm shake, the two parted, and Nina, or Rollo right now, settled back onto her hunches. Good girl. Oh, sweetie, don't you think you should? I don't think you should. Achoo! No, it's choo! Fine, Mickey, I'm a choo! She didn't even get to finish her sentence with her sleeve pressed hopelessly over her face. Reina succumbed to a swift sneezing fit. To a swift sneezing fit. squinting indeterminately as she waved her free hand. I'm fine, don't worry. Nana whined, her head tilting back and forth. Mickey clicked her tongue with faint consternation, moving to search behind the counter, and the little pup followed. Honestly, sweetheart, you know you shouldn't be getting that close to her. But she's so cute, it's worth the achoo! You're allergic to dogs? Only, only a little bit, honestly. It's not as bad as she makes it sound. One by one, Mickey pulled a tissue and a box of antihistamines onto the counter, waving the two of you over with a brisk sigh. It is that bad. She didn't say a word about it the first time here. She didn't say a word about it her first time here. I thought she was going to pass out on our floor. It was fine though. Reina cracked indignantly, even as she reached out for a squirt of hand sanitizer. Another miserable sneeze jolted her a half inch off the floor, and Mickey rolled her eyes with fond exasperation. I know she's irresistibly cute, but you've got to breathe, honey. You have a card for me? Uh-huh. That sneeze was on purpose. It was like, uh-huh. Uh, Reina fished a credit card free. Reina fished a credit card free from her purse, handing it over to complete the purchase you'd come here for. While Mickey ran it through the reader, Reina glanced at you, smiling a little despite the sudden redness of her eyes and nose. I promise it's only bad if I get too close. I'm okay in the same room as dogs. I just can't resist. Hey. Sure, I get that. Those sneezes hadn't been anything to, well, sneeze at. But it was up to Reina's discretion in the end. You could only hold onto a vague hope that she didn't do this to herself every time she met a dog. When the transaction cleared, Mickey handed back the card, then bustled off to the back room where Reina's folding card had been left. We've got everything packed up already, so here, you're all set. She was back within seconds, the crate on wheels rattling slightly as she rolled it out. It was packed completely full of bags and boxes, and an unopened box of tissues that was balanced right on top. Next time, I'll make sure to let Nana stay outside longer, since someone doesn't have much regard for her allergies, huh? Oh, come on! You never not let her in. Be that as it may. Oh, but it was lovely meeting you, Ollie. Uh... Mind her until she's feeling better, would you? Will do. Nice to meet you. There's seriously no need, but yes, see you next time. Then, with a melodic jingle over the bell overhead, you were out of Sheffield's and back on the sidewalk. With a valiant sniffle, Reina twirled a finger in the air. With a valiant sniffle, Reina twirled a finger in the air, turning to lead the way up the street. Okay, your turn, Ollie. Um. Bum, 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 I didn't get the choice for the drink. I should have gotten a choice here for a trinket. I didn't get it though. I wonder what would happen. Huh. Interesting. Okay. Anyway. Hold one second. I need to pause for a moment. I'll be right back. So actually, my OBS betrayed me, and I didn't realize it had because I'm just not. I wasn't paying attention to it. I was like, I pressed play and I trusted it was playing. That it was recording, you know. But I mistakenly hit enter while on OBS and paused without noticing, and so I wasted like maybe an hour of play. So here we are, second take. Um, the way there was short, too short for any major conversation, though Reina did stop sneezing a minute or two into the walk. Soon you were back at the main entrance to the shopping district, beelining for the champagne jello sign posted over the grocery store. Stepping in, you were greeted with in quick succession by a rush of AC and a chipper hello from one of the employees. What you planning on buying? Dumping your tote bags in a cart. Dumping your tote bags in a cart, you rifled through the list you'd taken from home. After smoothing out the creases, you flipped it around, showing off a few lines of yours and Deja's handwriting. That's it? Really? It almost feels like a waste of the trip. There's only a couple of weeks left of the semester anyway. That also meant finals were creeping closer and closer, hence your decision to do chores rather than force another day of studying in. Fair enough, I guess this means we'll be done in a flash. Sorry. After a rattle or two after a rattle of your two cart fuck. After a rattle of your two cart's wheels, you strolled past the registers, heading down the first aisle as you ran mentally through your shopping list. Most often, you tag-teamed groceries with Deja and Cameron if they were free. It helped to have a plan ahead of time, so you didn't spend too much time or money wandering around. Today it was just you and Reina, and you took care to steer the grocery cart alongside her, rather than take the lead or fall behind. It wasn't too hard. Even pulling a full cart of thrift store purchases behind her, Reina kept an easy, energetic pace next to you. You meandered along a few aisles. Fuck. Sorry. Sorry. Okay, so you meandered along a few aisles together, grabbing a few items off of Deja's half of the list. The you both slowed as you reached the produce section. Ooh, they're putting watermelons out already? That's kind of early. Reaching out, Reina gave the closest melon a hearty smack, clicking her tongue with light-hearted disappointment. Yeah, hear that? This one's all sour inside. I guess next time I'm buying a watermelon, I'll bring you along. Ha, sure, but I'll warn you, I charge by the hour for fruit translation. So anyway, do you need anything from here? What do you usually eat? Last time I picked vegan. So that's what I'd be if like I wasn't living in a shithole of a country. Well, I'm vegan, so that. But as you answered, you realized Reina wasn't really listening, as she stealthily plucked 3 grapes from a nearby bag to snack on. One by one, she tossed each grape into her mouth, dusting her hands off and propping them on her hips. Slowly, she pivoted on one heel. She pivoted on one heel of the shoe. Fuck. On the heel of one shoe, giving the rest of the produce section a serene once-over. Apparently, the question had less of a sincere inquiry and more of a simple stop. The question had been less of an inquiry and more of a simple stopgap. The silence had been filled, and she didn't need the conversation to develop past that. It was only awkward if you made it awkward. She didn't ask again, and you didn't repeat your answer. You turned back to the produce bag in your hands, pulling it shut and dropping it gently into the car. While you waited for Reina to catch up, you noticed her craning her head around. Looking for some? No. Sorry? Oh? No, I've never actually shopped here. I usually go to the Asian Mart farther out. Can't get the stuff for what I want to for what I like to make around here. Stuff like? She shrugged, tapping her fingers on top of a box of strawberries, like banana ketchup or sweet spaghetti sauce. The first time I played this, I was like, banana ketchup? What in the hell is that? I still don't know, honestly. But I could start shopping here, I think. The trip's way easier. Yep, that's why a lot of students come here. Uh-huh, makes sense. Oh, but it's more than just convenience. They don't check the mailing address on your coupons here, so you can double up with your roommates. That'd be nice. Too bad I don't have any roommates, huh? You pause, flipping quickly through your memories. But she lived in such a massive house for a student. Then you live in that house alone? I never told you. That's my aunt's house. She teaches there. So when I moved here for school, she let me stay with her. Yeah, that made more sense than whatever else you'd been thinking of. I picked you moved here from school to you moved here you moved here for school too from out of state. That makes sense. That makes two of us. I moved here for school too. A lot of us have apparently. Guess one was really worth the out of state costs, huh? I was wondering why you lived in faculty housing. Being student body president doesn't come with that many perks. I'm surprised they just didn't tell you. Oh, or maybe I didn't tell her? So I'm not gonna play through them. But like I could tell you more or less what each of these answers get you. So who's your aunt and what does she teach? Tells you that the aunt's name is Cheska, and then she teaches environmental engineering. Uh you ask like what year is that for, and Reina says that one of the classes is for first years. Your aunt was cool with inviting 100 people over for a test party. Reina says that her aunt was cool with inviting a few people for an SGP thing, but ended up finding out that they were 100 people later on because the neighbors ratted you out. You say that when didn't like you give care packages to the neighbors precisely so that they didn't rat you out, and Reina was like, "Yeah, that was a plan, but totally backfired." Um, then she says that after that, her aunt was saying that for the next SGB thing, Reina wants to like host on the house. She's asking for an invite. She's asking for a list of invited people. I just blanked on how to say that, but yeah. When you ask what's it like, does it feel like having a roommate or is it a family thing? Reina says that it's kind of both at the same time. Like, they leave each other alone when they're not hanging out, but they are close. And then she said, you say like, that sort of makes sense. And it's not a terribly interesting answer. It's not a terribly interesting answer. What's the other thing that Reina says? She's like, oh, I can remember, but that's the general gist of it. I'm gonna pick any chance your aunt's willing to take another kid. No chance. She had one extra room and it's taken. Thank you very much. I mean, there'll be a vacancy in 2 years, I guess. If I still need it by then, I'll be sure to reach out. And at this point, I was like, well, I hope I don't need it. I mean, I don't know. I'm not sure. I said at the time, like, I sure hope I don't need it. I'm a second year. I hope not to be here in 2 more years. Or like to be graduating. Or close to at least. But I'm not entirely sure how many careers last in the United States, honestly. Actually, careers here are supposed to last like 4 years if you don't fall behind at all. So, if I'm a second year, then I would say 2 years from that, from the present point, it's like right at the point where I'd be like either writing my thesis or like graduating, getting into that, blah blah, presenting the thesis, etc., etc. Um, you wheel the cart back into motion, moving toward the nearest aisle. Reina kept pace, humming softly, though neither of you made it far as a tiny something bounced off the back of your head. You twisted just in time to watch a black bean clatter to the floor, and after a blink, you turned a questioning gaze to Reina. Did you feel anything? Feel what? I just got hit by a bean. Huh? How? With a slight frown, Reina twirled in a half circle, squinting lightly at the closest choppers. You shrugged, bending to scoop off the offending legume. Off the offending legume. It didn't hurt at least. It didn't hurt at all. Obviously, it was just a confusing choice of a projectile, to say the least. A sharp, short whistle drew your attention around the aisle's corner, where a shopping cart was tucked just out of sight. Leaning on the handle with his phone on hand, a familiar culprit waited, with a warm, crooked smile already on his face. Still not convinced we're destined for each other, Ellie? For each other, Ollie? You don't fool me. You won't fool me this time, Percy. What did he do? What did he do? See, when you say things like that, you confuse people. Don't worry about it, Reina. I can be direct. Were you following me around the store, Percy? It's hard to believe, but I am human. I'm here for food, just like you. Do you two want some space? Nah, we're good, right, Ollie? Percy hummed with quiet amusement, rolling closer until you were within proper conversational range. Leaning forward, he turned his attention to the fluorescent lights, his arms crossing over the handlebar with his shopping cart. Off his shopping cart. Some crazy weather we're having today, huh? It's unbelievable. I can't believe you're supposed to be the funny one. Well, I can't be the sexy one. Jamie's got that lockdown. And Elio's a cute one, so funny's all I've got left, Ollie. Funny and a bag of beans? Yeah, I gotta take all the advantages I can get. Not flanked, not flanked by Elio or Jamie today. The same question that been posed to you was tossed to Percy. He shrugged, gesturing vaguely at his cart as he propped his chin on one hand. It'd be easier to carry all this bag if they were here. For emphasis, Percy patted a giant bag of oats slumped in the child seat, and it's this idea, picture is still super funny in my head. Just like a bag of oats slumped like a person, you know. Right next to the aforementioned bag of beans, the cart itself was full of all kinds of food. Boxes of frozen pizza bagels were pushed against the sides, and the heap of bagged produce in the middle wasn't organized at all, with a single pineapple teetering ungracefully on top. But nah, they're doing other stuff today. I don't think I've met you actually. No, wait. I don't think I've actually introduced myself. Percy. Reina, though it seems you already know that. They each stuck a hand out, but instead of a shake, Percy leaned forward and lifting Reina's hand up as his head dipped down. For a split second, you thought he would drop a kiss on her knuckles, but instead he touched his forehead to the back of her hand. Oh, you. Reina retrieved her hand hastily, though a puff of amusement escaped her. Percy straightened, snickering despite the earlier awkwardness. Where the hell did you learn that? Friends. Then, before you could interject, I do have other friends besides Elio and Jamie. I saw what it said, but yeah, you get me. I genuinely thought you were up to some princely shit. That can still be arranged if you want, milady. Yeah, no. What was that? It's a Filipino thing, something you do to greet your elders. So if you think about it, he's really calling me old. No, never. I was just paying my respects to the student body president. And I was calling you old. Heard your birthday is coming up. Well, thank you. But I'm not letting you off the hook for that. Percy waved her off, grinning from ear to ear as she playfully batted at his arm. Hey, So here I picked. What else you've got going on today? Not much. Grocery shopping was pretty much it for me today. I could hit up some of the other places for some window shopping, but I've got Frozen's, so... Yeah, I don't know. I'm probably heading home to game for a bit. What do you play? This and that. Yeah? Mostly RPGs, I guess. And some MOBAs. By some MOBAs, you mean... Clash of Champions, yeah. Diamond rank, but I swear I'm totally normal about it. Well, it's not. There's no totally on it. But I swear I'm normal about it. Next up I chose... How'd you hear about Reina's birthday? Well, I did say a little birdie told me, didn't I? Was your little birdie wearing a hat and just a bit shorter than Deja? You think Elio knows about your birthday? I think Elio knows everyone's birthday. He was helping people with their star charts on a different party once. And here I was like, oh, so Elio likes the sciencey sort of astronomy of like star themed shit, and also like the zodiac side of star shit. That's interesting to know. Nope, Jamie. So he babbled. So he blabbed. See if he likes it when I tell everyone his birthday. Hey, as long as you don't tell him I write him out. Or what? Man, me and my big mouth. And then I picked up this pizza bagel option just because it's so funny. For everybody that doesn't know, this pizza bagel thing is a hint sort of thing, sort of towards another game called Arcade Spirits. Please, if you haven't played it, it's really good. It's really funny. It's done with a lot of love. It's kind of old. At this not like 2010's old, but it is still kind of old. So like if you wanted to check it out, it is still very sweet. This pizza bagel thing is like a joke from that game. And the line that Percy's gonna say next is like a line that you hear a lot in the game. Like the game doesn't have a lot of voiced lines, but that one is voiced. So what's up with all those pizza bagels, Percy? Did you know that when you make it Did you know that when you make pizza on a bagel, you can have pizza at any time? That's also like that's the line that's voiced in the game and repeated constantly. He pointed at the different toppings listed on each box, reciting breakfast, lunch, dinner, and some extra for snacking. Is that healthy? It's not the healthiest, but it's just something easy for when we need it. Even Jamie? Yeah, he'll jazz it up a little, but he'll eat them. I ate too many of these as a kid, so I'd rather just not, but it is what it is. I don't always have time to cook for the house. What about the other two? Jamie put all his... Oh, I thought one of my alarms was going off. Jamie put all his kitchen know-how into bacon. Elio experiments, so meals with him are either pure gains or something he didn't even know he'd end up making. Oh, but can we rewind just a little? Can we rewind just a bit? I know what I'd like for my birthday, Percy. Huh? I did say I wasn't letting you off the hook, so hear me out real quick. Alright, I've got a college student budget, so let me hear it. No, but let me hear it. You'll come to one of our upcoming events, yes? The spring festival soon, so... Hey, that's more than easy enough on my wallet. I can do that. I'll head out for now, though, yeah? It's been cool chatting, but if this ice cream melts, Elio wouldn't forgive me. With a half salute for a goodbye, Percy disappeared back around the aisle's corner. That left you and Reina to complete your shopping and ease your task with the absence of that dark-haired distraction. Not that the conversation was lacking in any way. Maybe running into Percy had helped Reina hit her stride as she chatted idly while you grabbed everything else on your list. Somehow, when you pulled up to check out, you spotted Percy again, rifling through coupons a few registers down from you. Catching your eye, he gave another quick wave before turning to finish his payment. When you when you exited Triples a few minutes later, the last glimpse you caught of him was in the distance, retreating down the sidewalk with his groceries in hand. Oh, that's not the way to the bus stop. How do you think he's heading back? His scooter? I suppose. That's going to take him a while. Yeah, especially with all those bags on his arms, he's going to have to kick real hard. Yeah. Hmm? Wait, it's not a Vespa? Oh no, it's an electric scooter, but the kind you stand on? That one. Oh. Oh, I was totally imagining something fancier. Nope, but I have seen him get up to decent speeds on that thing. On flat ground, sure, but back up the road to campus? Maybe he's way beefier than I thought. You weren't sure which image you weren't sure which image was funnier. Percy on a moped sputtering all the way back to campus on a grand total of 5 miles an hour, or him doggedly kicking his way uphill on his beloved pink scooter instead. Ah, Reina halted, reaching down and folding the tops of a few of her shopping bags neatly over. In the next moment, she lifted her hands, palms up, as she beckoned to you. Here, there's room. Bags, please. I think I chose charismatic. Oh, also it was going off. I think. Were you going off? No. Hold that thought. Hold that. So yeah, this one gives me compassion and charisma. That was really kind of her. You'd happily accept. Which is what I would have picked, actually. Like, had it been actual in real life me in there. With a small smile, you handed over a pair of bags. Thanks, Reina. Don't mention it. With a low clatter of the crate's wheels, you and Reina turned to head down the street. Can I just say, throwing beans at someone's head isn't really the way I'd greet a friend. I didn't know you and Percy were cool like that. You chuckled softly, shaking your head a little as you kept pace next to her. Oh, it was like that as soon as I met him. He's a funny one. Well, anyway, I was just curious since I've only met him today. Percy, I mean. That raised an interesting point. They just said Elio was a regular at SUB events, and Jamie had only been at Reina's party per a very specific request. I guess when I think about it, he tagged along to the barbecue the way Cam and I did for Deja. I mean, I recognized him for sure, since you were all scrambling so hard to win the scavenger hunt, and she tapered off, leaning to one side as her steps slowed. Her head turned, and she craned her neck. Her head turned, and she craned her neck. You turned to follow her gaze across the street. At first, it was difficult to pick out anything noteworthy through the thin but active pedestrian traffic. Then daylight winked off a crown of pale hair, and with a flutter of nerves, you realized who exactly had caught Reina's attention. It was Jamie Porter, of all people, standing a head taller than everyone else. Standing a head taller than everyone else around him, including the clerk of the flower shop, who was politely seeing him off with a wave and a word of thanks. With a word and with a wave and a word of thanks. In his hand was a large bouquet of flowers, a waterfall of pretty pink and purple petals wrapped in brown paper. Well, well, what do we have here? Our very own celebrity? A very own campus celebrity out getting flowers? For a special someone, perhaps? Reina's voice curled upward with impish glee, and you spotted her shoulders shimmying in your periphery. What? That can't be it. Cameron would know. Or Elio. Or Percy. Or someone would. Um, how much does any of us know about Jamie Porter, Ollie? When you thought about it, even if you treated him as a friend by now, there were still plenty of questions you couldn't really answer. You were used to his behavior. You were used to his behavior by now. Huh. You were used to his behavior. No, wait, okay. So I missed one word. You were used enough to his behavior by now that you knew that he had a layer or two of pretense at all times, each one in the shape of a smile. Could having a secret lover be such a far stretch, considering his already dazzling reputation? Here I picked, no, there's no chance that could be the case. Jamie had high standards for who he thought was worth of his time and who wasn't, but more importantly, you knew he didn't really care what other people thought of him. It was troublesome that he had to keep away from nosy people, of course, but he wasn't the type to skulk for skulking's sake. Because of that, you couldn't imagine that he had a secret lover. If he did like someone, you figure he'd be upfront about it. Well, I'm just going to ask him. And Deja was off, her crate rolling merrily along behind her as she pattered to the corner. Right before the pedestrian light flicked on, she waved peppily for you to keep up. With a stymied, I had to Google that word before. With a stymied little chuckle, you hastened your steps to follow her, making sure to clear the crosswalk wall before the signal turned red. Jamie was peacefully unaware of your approach up until Reina cupped a hand next to her mouth. Hey, bestie! Her voice trilled musically a mere second after the door of the flower shop fell shut. Jamie turned on instinct, his expression politely confused, before settling into a cordial smile, one brow quirking as he made a mild show of glancing around himself. And who exactly are you calling bestie, Reina? Ay, nako. How many favors do we have to do we have to throw back and forth before we're BFFs? Besides, your other ones aren't here. I can say it without making Elio sad. Favors? Multiple? How long has this been going on? Longer than you think. No, longer than one would think is the thing. This is why I don't like to replay things. Not like when I'm voicing them. Because I already know the gist of what it's saying, so I tend to fill in the gaps with what I remember and not read. Longer than one would think. Hello, by the way, Ollie. Hi. In any case, it's nice to see you both. Likewise, who are the flowers for? The strike came instantly and without a shed of awkwardness. Reina was perfectly composed, her hands faintly clasped in front of her, and her smile void of any artifice. Jamie's own smile stayed put, but his eyes glittered conspiratorially as he leaned ever so slightly forward. Why do you assume they are for anyone but myself? That's because that's usually the case with flowers, wouldn't you say? Usually, it doesn't equate to always. Oh, come on. A banquet that pretty must be going to someone dear. Must it? You tell me. Must it? This valet would never end, would it? You might as well break the rhythm yourself. So they're not for any special occasion then? No, of course not. I buy flowers for the many, many vases that Percy put in our apartment. And here I picked this choice because it means that Jamie is friendly towards me. We love that. There's one in our dining table, small with curved handles. It's a statement piece in itself, very colorful. It's an interesting challenge to find flowers that suit it throughout the year. So, are today's flowers? Oh no, these would clash quite badly. They're going somewhere else. Jamie, can't you play along with my joke one time? Having entertained your brief aside, Reina was insistent on bringing her question to the forefront. Jamie only raised an eyebrow, and the paper wrapping in the bouquet crinkled as he shifted his position. I thought I was doing. I thought that's what. I thought that was what I was doing. You're not. You're not doing it the way you would with Percy and Elio. But you do see that needling me is perhaps not a setup for a joke. Needling makes me sound really annoying. Am I annoying, Jamie? No. Only because you're easy to read, Reina. I could do without your leadership for at least one day. For at least my day off. Okay, well, as your literal elected leadership, now I have to ask why. First, I didn't vote for anyone, and despite that, I helped you at the barbecue anyway, didn't I? The so-called favor for Reina. Did I? I did call that out of the. I did call that in out of the blue, but you did. You didn't back out once I explained. So. Oh, I don't take issue with that part. It's the other thing before the party started. Narrow that down for me, maybe. It was a rare moment of hesitation on Reina's part. Her voice faltered ever so slightly as Jamie's smile grew to match hers in sweetness. Don't play coy. The thing with the volunteers? No. Reina has a habit of meddling whenever possible. I did appreciate your help, Ollie, but the fact that you were put on the task at all, well. Jamie's eyes flicked amusedly to Reina, who was busy making a face at how bluntly he was putting things. I'd say she was testing her impression of you. Now that you thought about it, he made a good point. You'd been an idle hand at the party, so you hadn't thought much of it when Reina asked you to help in the kitchen. But she'd taken such special care to warn you before sending you right along, even with full knowledge of Jamie's everything. Looking back at everything now, I'm gonna choose this one. Reina's surprisingly clever. Dum 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 dum. She'd been so subtle about it, you hadn't caught on the entire time. There was the tiniest bit of amusement that you didn't notice. But on the other hand, you had to give her proper credit for doing an efficient job. In one move, she'd made sure the party would have cupcakes, checked how'd you behave around the campus boyfriend, and even clear the kitchen in time to sneak some plushes in. Wait, 1 second. It might be my fault why I hadn't realized that the recording I caught. No. Stop that. I'm trying to... I need a third monitor, man. I need a third monitor, y'all. Oh, there's music in the background. There's music in the background. Hold. Oh, that's Jamie's music. But what is it? I think it's violins, maybe. Even cleared out the kitchen to sink some plushes in. A sign, if nothing else, of why she was the student body present. You couldn't help but grin a bit, and Reina puffed out a little sigh, one hand pressed to her cheek and the other flapping slightly to dispel her embarrassment. Give me a little credit. I was already pretty sure Ollie would do just fine. They've been perfectly gracious to you ever since, right? I'd say I've been, yes? Hey, what's that pause for? And let's not pretend you'd have said a word to them if you hadn't had a mutual chore to meet over. That's easily disproven. Cameron would have introduced me to Ollie as soon as the party started. Aye, aye. With a light-hearted scowl and a toss of her hands into the air, Reina gave up the chase at last, her short-lived frustration melting into another burst of resigned laughter. From the mischievous glint in Jamie's eye, he was hiding a little laughter of his own as he relented as well. Okay, I give. I used to be able to win these. To be is to be perceived, Reina. Oh yeah? Thanks for that, Mr. Mysterious. I don't suppose I get a consolation prize for anything? No, for trying? I don't suppose I get a consolation prize for trying? For her blatant, how do you say that? I don't know how I said that first time. I don't know how I said that the first time. How do you say that? I think it's blatant. Yeah, it is blatant. It is. Okay. For her blatant boldness, Jamie rolled his eyes, then plucked 3 stems out of his bouquet. God, y'all. I spent so many years of my life calling this thing a bouquet, and it's tough. It's tough for me to remember it's a fucking bouquet. Bouquet. A sprig of pink and white sweet pea for each of you, and a single iris bud which he held out for you. Which he held out to you. Oh ho ho! Don't start that again. Are we finished here? These flowers will wilt before I return home at this rate. So cold. But fine. Go ahead. Go handle your interior decorating. Percy went off in some other direction, by the way. Like, away from the bus stop. And you're telling me because? You can't go along without reattaching to him at the You can't go along without reattaching to him at the hip, can you? We don't... Never mind. Bye, you two. With that, he was leaving, giving a courteous wave to each of you before he trailed away and around the corner. Somehow, the conversation with Jamie had carried you right over the sudden quiet boundary that marked springtime evenings in Fairfield. The days would get even longer as you made it properly into summer, but even today, in what felt like a blink, the sky was dimming, and the first colors of sunset were starting to seep into the clouds overhead. So, back to campus? Sure. Your walk back to the bus stop was set to the tune of Reina's cartwheels, as well as the occasional rustle or crinkle of the groceries in your bags. The shopping district was in a lull, right between the main bulk of the day and the dinner rush. The dinner rush. As the sunlight gradually took on warmer and warmer tones, Reina fell into a peaceful silence next to you, with only the occasional hum. What had ended up being a whole half day of errands together seemed to have fulfilled any need for chatter she had. As for you, while you headed back together, I can give you a gist of what each of these, the information each of these give you. So, did you know Jamie was going to be in Fairfield today? Has Reina going like, no. Even if I'm friends with him, I wouldn't know what he's doing on a drop of a dime. And then she says, like, she does know that Jamie tends to be around Fairfield during the weekends. How honest do you think Jamie was being about the flowers? Gets Reina to tell you, like, pretty honest. She says that Jamie doesn't really tend to lie. At which point you point out that, well, Jamie, like, hiding things and like not giving details, even if you have them, does count as lying. Um, it's lying by. What's the word for that? It starts by O. Lying by. Anyway, it's still lying. I couldn't remember what's the phrase for it, but yeah, it's still lying. Reina laughs and says, "Well, yeah, he does love to like to keep his details to himself and be mysterious about the whole thing. But in general, he's pretty honest, and she says that people tend to get a bit carried away by their impression of Jamie, and like tend to get like the wrong impression of him instead of seeing what's actually in front of them, basically." I'm gonna pick this one. So you didn't. So don't take this the wrong way, but you and Jamie are friends? Hmm? Yeah, don't worry. I'm not offended. I know what it looks like. I've been friends with Jamie ever since he got to WMU, so I'm technically an older friend to him than Percy and Elio are. Jamie's an international student, and SGB tends to help out with the onboarding process for that, at least at the start. I've been running interference for him at events ever since. Um, I mean, I know he can handle himself. It's just sometimes there's things I can do to help, so I do that. Soon enough, the bus stop was within sight. You were in luck. A bus was already there, idling with its doors open as it waited to return to campus. Stepping on, the two of you took a pair of seats closer to the back. Reina tucked her cart as close to her as she could. A few other students filed past, each with mumbled apologies as they squeezed by. Before long, the bus was off. Reina leaned back into her seat, turning her head to gaze out at the passing scenery. I chose this one. Your indifference to her had faded, as something about her had piqued your interest. At least going around downtown together had let you form a better impression of her, to the point that you were paying more attention to her than before. Anything Deja had told you about Reina was always in terms of student government work. It'd been a refreshing change of pace to spend time with her in a different context. Or well, as different as it could be considering she'd gone downtown with you for an SG thing. When the silhouettes of Rin Mayer's taller buildings appeared on the horizon, Reina shuffled into her seat before speaking up. Ollie, I'm sorry about how some things went today. What? Reina's tone was apologetic as she turned her attention back to you, her smile uncertain. You've been really gracious about it, but... Or, I guess, what I mean is, thanks for today? Even if I kind of took you around town with me, and so on, She trailed off, smiling a little, even as her brows drew together with faint, rueful concern. Not like I had a bad time or anything like that, promise. I just mean, well, I said it already. And there went the uncomfortable smile again, as she let her apology turn thank you sputter out. Well, thank you for today, Reina. Hey, I said it first. I'm just following my SGB president's example. The bus came to a rolling stop again, and students shuffled off one after another. This was your stop. Once you were both clear of the crowd, handed the groceries into her cart back to you, waiting politely as you hefted all your totes over your shoulders. Well, I'll see you later. Bye, Reina. She was gone in a blink, as if the contents of her shopping cart weighed nothing. As you turned to cop back toward the green, your phone buzzed in your pocket.
Hey, are you still out?
No, I'm heading back to the apartment now.
Where are you at? I just got out of class. I can meet up with you and help carry stuff back, unless Reina's picking up the slack.
No, Reina's...
I know that tone. What'd she do?
Stop, it was nothing.
If you say so.
She's totally fine once you get to know her, is what I chose.
That's what I've been saying. She's just kind of abrasive sometimes. I don't think she means to be. So, you.
Hey, Ollie! Thumping footsteps alerted you to someone approaching, and as you turn to look, who slowed to a stop in front of you, but
How's it?
yeah, it's he says like how goes it? How's it? How's it? Or something like that. What's up? Alright. Elio waved as she pulled an earbud out, reaching to adjust his hat on reflex as he grinned. Oh, D, give me a sec. Apparently, you were really on top of your game for lucky encounters today. Now you were 444, as improbably as it might have seemed when you first set out. But hey, you wouldn't look a gift horse in the mouth. Hey, you! He raised his hand for a quick fist bump, and you knocked your curled hand lightly against his in grin. I thought I recognized you. He jabbed a thumb back over his shoulder at the intersection behind him. Still took me a bit to be sure, but I'm glad I checked. I would have missed you otherwise. His approach was entirely guileless, devoid of any motive aside from wanting to say hello. Still, with the day you had so far, you couldn't resist tilting your head as you adopted a musing tone. Are you sure you weren't waiting for me to show up? This is quite a coincidence. Ha, what? Why would I?
Hello?
Deja, so sorry. I'm still here. Hiya there.
Hey, Elio.
Sorry, was I interrupted?
Nah, we were just catching up. I'll let you go. Talk to you later.
As you hung up, Elio clicked his earbud case shut and slipped it into a pocket. And second time I say that! What the fuck is a pocket? It's a pocket. Pocket. Fuck. Just finished the grocery run? You opened your mouth to answer, but quickly stepped aside as he reached to take a few of your bags. There he went again, being ultra considerate from the start. Hey now, aren't you on a run? Just for a bit, I promise. He gave you a confident thumbs up, as if to reassure you he wouldn't be around for too long. You could point out that the distance from here to your apartment was literally just a bit, so he'd just be walking with you all the way back. But that probably wouldn't change his mind anyway. Relenting, you gave him a bag or two, hiding a puff of amusement, and hope he brightened up when he did. He's such a little puppy, I want to squish him. He's so cute. I'm gonna romance you next, Elio. I swear I am. Wait for me. Wait for me! Thanks. Of course. Turning you each started toward the green. Elio seemed more than happy to slow down and match your pace, ambling along next to you with the loose, easy posture of an athlete. I'll be out of your hair before you know it, don't worry. Don't want to derail you too bad from whatever you've got going on today. And what have I got going on today? Easy. You were doing chores all day, right? No, wait. You were doing chores all day, weren't you? It's about that time of semester where everyone's got everything on their to-do list all at once. Hectic stuff. That sounds like personal experience speaking. I'm not telling. Or well, I don't know, you obviously still have time to go for a run? Oh, well, that's different. He nodded once, looking comically serious before letting the usual smile melt through his facade. If I'm not moving around, I'm not at my best, so I gotta keep up so I can do whatever else I need to. Yeah? First time I read that, I was like, that's kind of a mouthful, but sure, Elio. I guess it makes sense. If there was anyone who got their energy by spending it on exercise, it was definitely Elio. Not that it had to be exercise either, considering how enthusiastic he was for almost any other activity. He's so golden retriever coded. Anyway, back to your question. Chores, yeah? Trip downtown? Did you end up getting anything from the thrift store? Nah, but maybe I'll get something next time. Yeah? I guess a fun thing about thrift store fuck. I guess a fun thing about thrift shops is you definitely get a new browsing experience every time you visit, so fingers crossed for you. Caught anything else on the list? Nope, all done for the day. Same. Or well, I didn't have as many chores as you did, I think. But you did still get out like the others, yeah? Haha, yep. Hey, how do you know that? Percy mentioned everyone else being busy, being busy. Everyone else being busy when I saw him. Ah, yeah. You ran into him at Triple Zen. Yeah, and Jamie after that, he was buying flowers. Talk about coincidences. And now you've seen me too. Exactly. I should buy a lottery ticket. Was it worth mentioning Reina? You didn't know how familiar Elio actually was with her, but maybe that was the kind of perspective you needed. Deja's opinions of Reina were kind of built around her working relationship. Were kind of built around their working relationship. Jamie was friendly enough with her, whatever that meant by his standards. Maybe Elio knew another side of her that you didn't? Sorry. I'm gonna pick. Tell him but be honest about it. Actually, you know how I ran into Reina? Yeah, I was wondering. I didn't know she had the spare time, like, at all. You guys friends? I think so. We hung out together all afternoon. We went to the thrift store. We went to the thrift store, then hit the grocery store, and then we walked around downtown for a bit before coming back. I was wondering what you thought about her. She's pretty friendly and nice, of course. That's it? Pretty much. I don't know enough about her to say much else. Yeah, I guess that makes sense. Okay. So what were you up to today? I had dance practice until about an hour ago, then headed out for a run. Figured I'd get the extra cooldown in so I don't cramp up later. Is that how it works? Only if you stretch after. Otherwise, you're in for a world of hurt. I'm gonna see what this gets me. I don't know if I can pick multiple things. I don't think I can, but let's go with that hat. Your hat's different today. See what he says. And then the other option that gets you like a positive Elio response is what were you listening to earlier? I wear different hats. Do you? I've literally never seen you wearing anything else. Just that cute bucket hat with the bear ears. Okay, that's one of my favorites. But I have other hats, like this one, and the one I got from Space Camp. Space Camp makes sense. Makes sense for you, actually. Yeah, see? Hey, I almost forgot, but did you RSVP today, just thing? So we are doing the stress after this, apparently. Um, let's see what he says too. I think this is where we learn like what his music tastes are. Oh, I was on a show tune, but it's just my workout playlist. Lots of rock on there too. Big musical fan? Sometimes, kind of. I don't know. It's like show tunes aren't a genre; they're an art form. Were you a theater kid growing up? Really? No. Hina was though. She ran lines with Hoku and me so much that we might as well have been her understudies. Hey, I almost forgot. I'm actually gonna keep this. Hey, I almost forgot, but did you RSVP to Deja's thing? The festival? Not yet. I'm sure she'll remind us again, and hopefully I won't have as much on my to-do list when she does. The way I see it, getting all your chores out of the way is just good planning, right? With that, you were back in front of your apartment building, and Elio handed your bags back. All right. Well, hey, see you around. Sure. Thanks again. You're welcome. Elio waved goodbye, and then he was off, jogging lightly to the corner and turning to resume his run. He quickly found his rhythm as he departed, and soon he was fading into the distance. I'm home. The apartment was quiet when you got back, but by the time you put everything away, Deja was home as well. Clicking the door shut, she tossed her bag and books over onto the couch, then joined you in the kitchen. How was your day today? Frustrating and boring. Don't get me started. How about you? Any favorite moments from today? I'm gonna pick. I'm gonna pick right now, obviously, because I want a Deja points. Anything else doesn't give me any points with anybody, so I'm gonna pick right now, obviously, just to get a Deja point. Aw, that's sweet. I meant being home. Hey, what happened to my loving roommate, huh? They spent the day doing housework, that's what. My hardworking roommate. There. Deja reached for your hand from across the countertop, though she stopped short with a puff of laughter. Anyway, what's for dinner? Well, I shopped, so you're cooking, aren't you? Fine, but I don't want to hear any complaints when it's done. Hey, so I do get to pick what comes next. So that was errands. Let's go do this stress. Let's go do the stress just to see. I've been grinding sugar for an hour. It's never not funny. I'm gonna pick distress. Just so. Wait. All work and no play makes us. I don't know. Deja, is it RSVP time? I think this is what gets me. I think this is what gets me the Springs Festival. Oops. It is. I'm surprised you remember. A point for you. Oh my god, I'm winning at festival. Wait, I want to win at festival. You can actually win at festival. I want to win at festival. I think that is normal to want and possible to achieve. Oh my god. Go RSVP then if you want to win at festival. Oh my god, you're so fast. Been doing thumb flexes. Thumb flexes. Elio's fucking funny, man. So we need to pick sticking together and do the latter thing. Which depending on what you're wearing, baby girl. Okay, sure thing. Let's do it. Bum, 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 ba-dum, bum, bum, bum. Um, Games. I'm not leaving here without a prize. Oh, this is new. What came for you? Right? Right. Either way, it's gonna be over the tops kind of well. Dee's been pulling her hair out over this. Reina too. She's been running all over town. I went with her to the thrift store the other day. She was talking to the owner about something festival related. She wouldn't let me listen in. Raffle prizes, maybe? I just prefer to stick together. So I did petting Sue first. Percy and David next to Percy and David next to. That one. I was thinking of one of my reading. What do you do for work, Jamie? Uh, can we go to the big obstacle course? Rest is mine. You're all going down. Oh, this is a quick QT type of thing. No time for tricks. Just go, go, go. I need to lose all of these. Up, down, the side. I still didn't get the fucking choice. Fuck, shit, did ask. Mother. Ha. Hate this. Hate this. Can I reload? Let's load. I'm losing entirely, completely. Everything. Load. Yes. Save this. We're gonna save this here. Speak anything else. What gives me? Let's see. What gives me charisma? Let's see. Okay, so don't trip and fall. Okay, so let's lose this. Down. Drew grabbed onto a rope and pull yourself up one step at a time. Up ahead, Elio disappeared over the slopes peak with a whoop, followed by Cameron. That left Jamie and Percy barely ahead of you. Oh, that's how I got it. Pour on Jamie's leg. You gathered your strength and that's how I get it. You gathered your strength. And leaped, getting just close enough to latch your hand around Percy's ankle. Ah! He lost his grip and slipped, rolling all the way back to the bottom. Rolling all the way back to the bottom of the slope. You scrambled up to take his place, managing to overtake Jamie as well when he paused to look back. I'll get you for this! Hilarious. As the rest of you slid down to the other side of the slope. Blah 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 blah. Am I gonna win this? What's that get me? Let's shout to whoever's in the lead and go shout out to Elio. No wait, Cam. Shout to You shouted to distract whoever was in the lead. How do I say it? Oh wow, picked in his own. Amazing. Oh, if Elio's in the first place. Got it. It worked! Startled by the raw panic in your voice, Elio whipped his head back to look for you, just in time to see you wink as Cameron rushed by him in a blur. Rah! Now to finish out the race yourself, you focused on the final stretch, breathing hard as you upped your pace. That when suddenly you felt two hands grab you, one on each shoulder, and you tumbled backward. Hey, that what goes around bites you in the ass. See ya. As they rushed on without you, even sparing the time to high five each other. They rushed on without you, even sparing the time to high five each other as they went. How are my points again? My charisma broke the charts. I didn't know I was gonna do that. That's fucking funny, man. Let's see if I win the fucking thing now. Shit, that's so funny, man. Cameron hooked an arm through yours and dragged you forward with them, holding their lanyard out with the other hand. Courtesy of Ollie. Aw, just read my part. That's a new record, alright. Congrats, here's your prize. You played rock. Bum, 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 bum. I think. If you didn't accept Elio's first challenge, okay, so that's how I get. Didn't quite want to go yet. Elio gave an exaggerated, blustery sigh, his shoulders slumping for a second before he popped back up into his usual posture. Alright, Percy, you want to try? That sounded so weird. Anyway. Percy, you want to try? You know, I always wanted to beat the master at his own game. I'm gonna say 5 on Elio. Bum, bum, bum. Bum, 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 bum. Bum, 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 bum. Let's see. Will Jamie say yes to me? I should pass a fucking charisma check. My charisma's off the charts. No. God. Fuck. 하 진짜요? I'm gonna report that. This is so fucking funny to me. Hold 1 second. I need to report that because I need to just like mention that. Anyway, we move on. It's okay. Bye. Oh, will he say yes after I Aw, Jamie, come on. We can crush and burn together. He batted your eyelashes with ridiculous enthusiasm, and he laughed under his breath. Or we could walk away and live another day. Life's short. What's the worst that could happen? Fine, fine, if you insist. Okay, so I had to be breaking my charisma. Wrong. Okay, so let me do that. Only way I could get Fine, fine, if you insist. Yay, we fucking go. Had to break the chart. It's so funny to me. Had to fucking break the chart to get Jamie to agree with me. Let's go. Ready? Climb. Oh. You'll launch yourself up the ladder, advancing one step, then another, then another. The ladder shook violently, threatening to flip upside down as you raced onward. Keeping momentum while staying balanced became exponentially harder, and you managed two more steps, then slipped, falling with a short yelp. True to his word, Jamie had fallen a mere second into his climb, and he gave you a thumbs up from where he lay on the mat. Happy now? A breeze swept past, shaking the ladder rungs and gently carrying the last of Elio's dreams with it. Bum, 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 bum. 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 Bum, bum, ba-dum. Bum, 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 bum. Ba-dum. Bum, 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 bum. Ignore the pain, find your happy place. Haven't I served my time, man? I've gone hiking with you so much I feel like I deserve a pass. You know you love it. Are you feeling the burn yet? Yes, very much so. Well, hang in there. Because if you don't make it at least 30 seconds, I'm never letting you live it down. Jamie, I'll give you $5 to tickle him. I'll give you 7 to tickle him. Sounds like two good deals. Sounds like two good deals for me, sure. Jamie stuck out both his hands and Percy and Elio dropped at the same time, scrambling to get out of reach. Truce! Big truce! Okay, Clam, it's your turn. You're going again? Sure am. Get up there. The third match went pretty much the same as the other two. That was, quickly. Okay, so I was going to taunt everybody. We are. Then, I actually need to... Should I let him win? Yeah, I'm gonna let him win. So, like, I actually need to lose the second of that quick time events. The second of those quick time events. Probably your downfall, Porter. So I need to lose this down. I told you to take this seriously. I'm still on my feet, okay? Wait, was it 3? Was it 2? Was it 3? Was it 2? Hold. Hold that thought. Load. Yes. Right, will be your downfall. I think it's 3, 2, 2, 3, 4, 1, 5, 6, 7. 2 bum. Oh, this is the one that I lose. Okay. I think I'm gonna do this one. You never back down, not even at the bitter end. Ha! You gave a soft derisive sigh, then straightened, stepping forward with your head high and your arms to the side. Go on then, strike me down. You've earned it. You close your eyes, preparing to be cut down. Only to hear a quiet chuckle and nothing more. Challenge me again, your next life, if you dare. Then he planted the end of his weapon on your chest and pushed you off the platform until we meet again. Ah! This whole thing is so funny to me. Bum, 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 bum. Oh, I need to save here. I need to save here because there's RNG involved there. Bum, bum. Why am I still playing this? I've already gone through this. Okay, sure. I'll just finish off the play. There's nothing left anyway. Oh, Jamie got it. Okay, so I'm gonna get dunked. Skip. Deja. Festival. I need to get the chickadee one wrong. Chickadee was the spell. I'll eat better. So your prayers, Icarus. The black cap chickadee. 2. I actually don't know what the fuck is the right answer for this. Still don't know. A splash as Jamie disappeared was disarmingly quiet. Victories were sweeter. I'm gonna pick the book one. Because I feel like, um, I'd love to, but not this time. This is a present. I actually feel like you decided to give it to somebody else. Um, Jamie, this is for you. I actually feel like books, um, match Jamie better than anything else. Um, half point is the best. Ollie, we're in Fairfield. They should change it to Fairview. Where's the Fairfield anyway? Fairview it is. Maybe we can get together for one more food run before summer starts. Mm. We could change things at half point too. We ate all the food. They're on their way. Percy. You knew right from the start you get along with it. Elio. Jamie. There was no way that you could crush on him anymore if you tried. This is the worst photo you could take of me. I still don't know what I would like to take a picture with him or to take a picture of him. I think I'll take a picture with him. How about we take a picture together? You give them an inch, they'll take a mile. His brows creased in mock desperation, but he leaned forward anyway. Summer job, baby. Yay, there you go. And we got there. It ended up that errands did take up about not just with this. I'm just looking. She said I had to cut the previous recording, and I'm just looking at this one's time. But it turns out that errands did end up taking about 2 hours to complete. So that's a decent recording time for one of these. I love Reina. I really, really do love Reina. But at the same time, it's I like the other events a bit more. And yet at the same time, I kind of love the way that you find out little bits and pieces about the characters with this event. I don't know. It's Aaron's is my on the fence event. I'm not sure if I like it or don't, or how to feel about it. Anyways, this completes the Jamie biased run for this series. After this, I'm gonna be romancing Elio. The first run I'm gonna be doing with Elio is, I'm thinking late night or extra fries. Because I wanna. There's a couple of things. There's a couple of things that you can do there with Elio. And I want to do. So late night fake slackers because I want to go on the errand with him. And then I want to do. Do we want to do this dress? Do we want to do this dress? Maybe we could do this dress, just to do the Elio side of things. When you split up. And maybe to see, maybe we could skip over the stick together side of things just to see how things look when you're crushing on Elio, if there's any different dialogues and stuff. But if it's just I always love to do the spring festival run with all of the boys. Yeah, I think I'm gonna do late night and fake slackers, and then distress, and then the next run after that, I'm gonna do. I wanna try doing a rainy day first, to see if I can get like Elio is friendly towards MC choices, because I have the feeling that Elio is fairly friendly. Is friendly towards MC a lot faster than Jamie is. But I don't know. Like that's just a hypothesis of mine. Um, I'm missing one. Play nice. What am I missing? I'm missing something. I'm missing something. I don't know what. I'm missing something. I don't know what. Or I could actually do. No, but I already did like the rainy days staying up with you and Jamie version. And I don't know how like that different it might be. We could skip through that, see how different that is with like Elio as your crush. Anyway, I'm just musing and planning in for the future. I should cut this. I've been gaming for a lot of time, counting in like the whole hour that I lost um over to OBS fucking betraying me. In any case, I hope you really enjoyed this series. After I romance all three of them, I might go in later on just to do like just to do like a changing of what's the word for that, order, just do like a changing of order for the events and see what unlocks, especially for Jamie, and see like what unlocks when Jamie is friendly towards the MC, because I did do a couple of the events where Jamie wasn't friendly towards the MC at the first event, and plus I didn't get some choices. I would really like to see how that turns out. Um, and yeah, that's it for this series. I'll see you all the next time that went to get to romancing Elio. Hope you look forward to that. Thank you so much everyone for coming, staying, and watching and spending this time with me. I hope you had fun. Bye bye.